Hey, welcome back. I have a new game for you today. It's the Power Wash Simulator. I'm definitely going to. I'm gonna love this game. I'm gonna love playing it. I already played it a little bit, and I'm like, this game is perfect. Um, I'll definitely get back to Pokemon. Honestly, I think these two games can carry me for like the year 2022. um, and I'll just play these games for the rest of the year. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Um, I figured that I was playing this game. I always do that. I mean, the indie games are really good to play here, like Unpacking and Tunic. Um, the first game I ever played that I was like, I think it was Katamari, where I'm like, this is the jam. And it was. It was indeed the jam. I can talk and just be like, ooh, I'm cleaning. So that's the game. This is the game. You just power wash cars and stuff. And it's awesome. Um, it reminds me of that level in Mario Sunshine where you have to clean the beach. It's just basically that. But I always love that level. You can even go back and watch me play it and be like, oh, I like this. Um, and I don't know. I guess people always kind of misuse OCD, and I guess there's like a spectrum for like just people who like order and like cleanliness. And my parents, I think, mistook my like cleanliness as a kid for OCD, and they used to be like, "Oh, you have OCD because like you." So like one thing I remember that as a kid is kind of weird is that I didn't like being dirty, and I don't know, I like, but I mean like I used to get like really grossed out as like a 5-year-old that like people would have like Cheeto fingers, and so I would never eat Cheetos because I don't want those fingers. And I remember I hated jelly and ketchup. Like I hated anything messy, and I wouldn't eat it. Um, so like I wouldn't eat peanut butter and jelly because I jelly was like gross to me because it was like dirty. Um, and so my mom would make peanut butter and butter instead of peanut butter and jelly. um, because I guess I was probably like whining to her, and she's like, "Why don't you like jelly? That's weird." I don't know. It's just gross. I don't like jelly, and I didn't like it because it was messy. Um, the other thing I used to do, and I'm better with all this stuff now. Um, I didn't want my food to touch, like any of my food that was like messy, like sauces and stuff. I didn't want it to touch the non-sauce. And as a kid, I was like, oh, it's weird that people just like I don't want like I want the ketchup over here, and I don't want the like it get touching like the sides of the hamburgers, and your fingers get all messy. Um, and as an adult, like I'm kind of better with that. I'm just like, oh, I'll just get a napkin and I'll wash my hands, whatever. But as a kid, I just like hated it, and that's not OCD though. OCD is obsessive, and I wasn't really obsessive about it. And OCD doesn't always have to be like cleanliness. It can be like numbers, like you always have to tap your um, doorknob 3 times after you leave or something, because you're just like obsessed with that for some reason because it's tied to like it just comforts you or something. I never really had that. It never really comforted me to do those things. So it was just like that's gross. Like being dirty, I don't wanna be dirty. Um, Messiness is different. Like my apartment's messy right now, kind of. Um, but it's not dirty. It's messy, but it's not dirty. I don't know. In my mind, there's a difference. Like dirtiness is gross, but messiness is like fine. Like if stuff is like Like, my kitchen's kind of messy. There's, like, tin foil on the counter. Like, I don't put it away in the cabinet. That's messy. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I mean, this game is so awesome. Is anybody watching? Do you like this game? It's so good. I just love, like, ooh. And my mom kind of has that too. I mean, she would love this game. I should probably tell her about this. My parents didn't really play games when we were kids, but my mom, like, she liked Tetris and, like, puzzle kind of games like that. Once in a while she would play. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. And now she plays, like, Candy Crush and stuff, so she would like this. There's a button that shows you the dirt. Okay, it's very helpful. So I already played like 4 levels by myself. So right now I'm just kind of... Well, today I was actually going to talk about work. I still have 7 minutes. Because I kind of had a tough week at work. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Because whenever I had a bad week at work before, I was like, oh, it's awful, and I knew how to describe it. But this week, it was just kind of a lot, and it was stressful at times, but it wasn't bad at all. I was just trying to think about it today, like, what was the difference between your last job and this job? Like, why did a stressful day kind of fester into, like, super stress? And this stressful day was just like, it comes and it goes. Maybe what I'm doing is working. Hey, maybe I'm actually, therapy is, like, working, and my CBT or whatever. It's kind of hard to believe that, because, like, I'm not really actively trying to do the CBT, so I'm like, how is it working if I'm not actively, like, doing it? But I did kind of do it before. The thing is, I'm not blaming myself as much. Why they spell tire wrong? That's weird. They spelled it like the city in Jerusalem. Where is the dirt? There it is. I have you now. Where is it? Where's the dirt? Oh, I see. There we go. I'm not blaming myself as much when things, like, aren't going perfectly. I think the team environment helps, because it's like, I had somebody, I mean, this is obviously the biggest thing. Am I, I'm okay. I had somebody with me, because I was learning something new this week, and they just kind of threw me in and was like, okay, figure it out. But they gave me somebody to kind of work with me. She had kind of done the thing last year, but she really didn't know what to do with most of it. So we were just kind of working together and figuring it out together. And that's what I need, I guess. I just need somebody to be like, we're gonna suck, but maybe we'll suck together. Okay, the next one is this one. I should spend some of my money. That first job is quick, but this job will take like an hour. On other free play jobs. I already finished. Yeah, and with my last job, whenever I had something to do, they would just throw me into it by myself. And I would just be like, I don't know who to talk to about this, and I don't know, I need help. Like, I was constantly talking to this person today. And she was helping me just by, like, we're just talking, and we're like, oh, okay, maybe try this. Oh, okay, that's not right. And it took forever, because we kept doing it and redoing it and redoing it. But I didn't care, because, like, I didn't have this, like, pressure of just doing it by myself, and like, I had to finish it by today. She's like, okay. She gave it to me last week and was like, okay, finish it by Wednesday. And so I did have that time crunch feeling, but she wasn't like hanging over me like, are you done? Are you done? I don't know. I felt like on my other job it was always like that. Every day too. It was like, okay, finish the thing by today. Okay, finish this thing by tomorrow. Okay, you have a new thing now. And and that's why I got so frustrated with my first therapist, because he was like, I kept telling him like, my job is so stressful and I just want a job that's not stressful. And then he would be like, well, every job is stressful. I'm like, I know. Like, and you can go back and watch my older videos, and I would say stuff like, I don't, like, is he right? Am I just never going to find a job that is better than this, that's, like, stressful every day? And then that's why I kind of got depressed, because I'm like, well, I'll never find a good job. But in the back of my head, I always felt like my standards aren't that high for a non-stressful job. They can't be that high. Like, I just want a job where I'm not stressed every day. It was just a miscommunication between me and the therapist that made me really frustrated, and I think it did kind of lead to the depression. I mean, it wasn't his fault, but the thing is, like, when you go to therapy and it doesn't help, you're like, oh no, I've tried everything. I'm even going to therapy and it's not helping. There's nothing else to do. And that is scary. And that leads to depression, because you're like, I tried everything. I'm still stressed. I'm still anxious. I'm still sad. Now what? Nothing. I did. Well, the thing is, you find another therapist. That's what you do. And I found the second therapist, and I still was like, on the therapist. She helped me a lot. She helped me find this new job. But she would kind of say the same thing too sometimes, like, oh, well, every job is stressful. That's not what I'm talking about, though. That's frustrating. I know every job is stressful. This job is stressful sometimes. It was stressful this week, but it's not like carrying an elephant on your back every day. It's different. And I didn't know how to communicate that before, because I'm like, that was my first job, and I'm like, oh, jobs are stressful. This is stressful. I just didn't know that there could be like a different level of stress. I remember it helping me. Oh, I gotta end. When I talked to that career development helper guy, and I talked to him, and he's like, do you have like appraisals, and like, do you meet with your supervisor, and do you have a team that you work with? And I was like, no, to any of that. And he's like, okay, well, that's probably why you're stressed, because that is a normal thing to have in a job, and you're stressed because you don't have that. So that helped me. That was like a year and a half ago or something when I talked to him. And that's kind of all I needed to hear. It's just like, most jobs aren't like this, where you're stressed every day. And I remember driving home some days and just like feeling a weight in my chest. I'm like, that's not good. Like having trouble almost breathing, just being short of breath, and just being like, I'm not getting enough oxygen when I breathe. Like, my chest feels heavy. It's because I was like in this crunch all day of stress, and it was just like collapsing my lungs and like making my heart not work right. So that's like, no, that's not good. And now I have this job, and it's good. Thanks. See ya. Bye. See you tomorrow.